When it comes to science fiction television, it doesn't get much more iconic than Rod Serling's The Twilight Zone. With 5 seasons spanning 6 years, back when TV shows didn't need multiple years to make a single season, and could make more than 8 episodes at a time, the series invited viewers to watch and reflect on a wide number of fantastic situations. Some episodes looked at social themes of the time, some examined scientific theories and concepts, and some were just plain whimsical, while the series as a whole became famous for throwing twist endings that would reframe all of the events of an entire episode. I've picked one from the bunch that happens to be a favorite of mine, and it's one that I think resonates just as strongly now as it did on its initial broadcast, if not more so. The story is set in a dystopian future ruled over by a cold, authoritarian government. By its decree, any person, thing, or concept that is no longer useful to the state is labeled obsolete and slated for destruction. Its latest target is Romney Wordsworth, a humble librarian and man of faith. But the state has eliminated books from society and declared the notion of God a relic of the past. And they have no interest in Mr. Wordsworth's protests, so he is sentenced to liquidation, but in a method of his own choosing. But this act of condescending mercy gives Romney the means to turn the state's laws back against itself, and he quickly fashions a scheme to turn his last moments on Earth into a brazen act of defiance against the oppressive regime. How does a man react to the knowledge that he's going to be blown to bits within half an hour? Answer: that depends on the individual. And that's what lies at the core of this story, the significance of the individual. It's common for tales of dystopian futures to pit one defiant voice against a rigid, collectivist authority. But the Twilight Zone shows that even a mild everyman has the power to be that voice. Romney Wordsworth isn't some spirited teenager or expert fighter rebelling against the system. He's a librarian and a Christian, already in his senior years. Someone who would seem completely unremarkable in normal circumstances. And yet, it's precisely because of his job and his faith that the state has gone out of its way to declare him obsolete and dispose of him. But we quickly learn that a man like Wordsworth is exactly the kind of threat this state is afraid of. He's handed a sentence he knows he can't escape, but armed with only his wits, his faith, and his devotion to truth, he uses his final hours to expose the weakness and hypocrisy of his sentencers before the world, while showing the strength of a man who puts his faith in God. And the chancellor who sentenced Wordsworth to liquidation? Well, he gets to learn for himself how much value he truly holds in the eyes of the godless state when he fails their purity test. The character of Romney Wordsworth is one of both boldness and humility, and looking back on the story, I can't imagine anyone other than Burgess Meredith for the role. Yes, he's well known for playing the Penguin in the 1960s Batman show, but the Obsolete Man gives him a real chance to demonstrate his range. And he expertly captures the character's quiet strength, fiery passion, and surprising craftiness. I love this moment in particular, when he's allowed to choose his method of execution. It's meant as a gesture of hollow mercy from a condescending authority, but you can see the wheels turning in Wordsworth's mind as he quickly figures out how to spin it in his favor. And Burgess Meredith is a master at expressing that sense of cunning. The more time goes on, the more I grow to appreciate these kinds of stories that demonstrate the surprising power to be found in the seemingly average everyman. The Twilight Zone has been released in both DVD and Blu-ray formats over the years, both in individual seasons and in complete collections. It might be pricey to acquire the entire series, even secondhand, but it's well worth it. The show as a whole deserves a place on your shelf, but you might be wondering why I suddenly decided to single out this specific episode. Well, let's just say that at the time of recording this video, the past few weeks have been a real eye-opener regarding the impact that an individual voice can have.